Here is Ron Paul appearing on Lew Rockwell's podcast. Was Lew Rockwell? Will someone remind me? And I want to be clear about this because Ron Paul said that it was underlings of his that had written the racist emails that he knew nothing about that were sent out under his name. Because apparently his underlings didn't realize, like, this could be controversial enough to bring attention to the boss.
I think he was listed as the sole editor of the Ron Paul newsletter.
Lew Rockwell was.
Lew Rockwell.
Well, yeah. I'm sure Lew Rockwell, as the sole editor, also didn't look at it.
You know, it's pretty standard when you run a newsletter that the person whose name it's named after, as well as the prime editor, the two sort of last people even know it's being written in it. It's pretty normal practice. I know you, as a sort of conniving Jew who's attempting to make me look bad, will sort of look, the other way and trying to make it like something. But nothing could be further from the truth. What did I just say? Did I just say something about Jews?
So here's Ron Paul appearing on Lew Rockwell's podcast and explaining, is talking about these sort of trans-partisan alliances that one makes, a libertarian and a liberal, on things like, in this instance, about being against war. Now, we all know that deep in the heart of an African-American liberal, there's only one reason why you're against war. Well, Ron Paul explains what that reason is.
I was always annoyed with it in Congress because we had an anti-war unofficial group, the few libertarian Republicans, and then generally the Black Caucus and others did not. They're really against war because they want all that money to go to food stamps for people here.
Yeah, there you have it. The reason why they're against war is because they want all the money to go to food stamps. Now, let's just break this down for a moment. There's no doubt that liberals in general want to shift money from the military-industrial complex to the, broadly speaking, social welfare state. That could mean health insurance. That could mean Social Security. That could mean infrastructure. That could mean teaching. That could mean food stamps. Food stamps is a little bit loaded in our society. I don't know if anybody's been around for the past 8 years or 6 years. But food stamps, or even beyond that, I guess, too. When we talk about the welfare queens. But also the idea that the only reason why they wanted to do that, of course, was not because they were anti-war, but just because they wanted to help out the food stamp people. So there's Ron Paul, of course, summing it up with Lew Rockwell, the editor of the newsletter that had all the racial comments that nobody knew how it got in there.
That's like really annoying to me, They want to give those money to food stamps.
Right. Well, I can understand why he would be...
We should be investing that money in gold.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I would say I support this because I support the Constitution, and you support it because, you want Shinakwa to have some extra food or whatever because, they have extra bones in their ankles or whatever have you. I mean, we all know this, but, for me, it was sort of like building an alliance, and, you can even shake hands with those people on occasion if you could. You got to be careful about your glands, though, Lou. I think you all know this because, the genetics sort of can seem into you. But anyways, it's a whole big complicated mess. And, people who kind of blame me for what I wrote in the newsletter, it's just preposterous. And, Jews like Sam Seder will run all over the place with it. But at any rate, they wanted Shantae to have food, and I voted against that. But we could both vote against war.
And vote for Rand.
I love Ron Paul's racism. It's so like he's just so oblivious. It's great.
What, Rand Paul's or Ron Paul's?
Ron. I think Rand is I think Rand's more like, I think the fact that I'm racist is a little problematic.
I've never had to. Right,
know.
exactly. Rand is like, I've never been in a position quite yet to maximize my profits based on racism. So it's not relevant to me until I don't get reelected for Senate in Kentucky.
I had to market differentiate from my dad. Rod's just like, they're perfectly affable, They run around, they're good at basketball. I mean, they can be very dangerous, very feisty, but they don't like war because they want food stamps.
So
It just sounds so insane.